Hey YouTube, I'm Faisha and this is Simply Lavish at Home. I know I do a lot of crafts and talk about food and drinks that you can use to entertain at home, but most of all you need to have a space where it's comfortable to entertain. So today I'm kind of going to talk about seating. So I live in a condo, I don't live in a big house, but right now without adding any additional furniture, I can comfortably seat 15 people. 16 if we get 4 on the couch because I have a really long couch, but really comfortably 15 people. And I wanted to get 2 more seats if I got some ottomans. So I was all set to buy some storage ottomans from like Wayfair or Amazon or something like that when I found some at Aldi. That's right, I found some at Aldi, but they weren't quite the right color. So I'm going to show you how I made them over to fit the decor of my home. Check it out. Now here I was all ready to spend $50, $60 for some storage ottomans when I ran into these two at Aldi's. And what sealed the purchase for me is that at $9.99 these can hold up to 300 pounds. So I knew it would be safe for somebody to sit on. And they go together really easy. So they come packed like this, and you literally just unfold them, stand it up. I'm having to stand it up on the table, and you slip the bottom that comes in. It comes in, it has that tag, and you slip it in and push it all the way to the bottom, and then you put the lid on, and it's easy as that to put them together. Now, like I said, they're not the right color, but I really couldn't. How do I not buy these for $9.99? They also have pockets. So another note, they came in, what, 4 colors? They have this gray, black, a furry white, and a pink. But you see, it's pretty deep. It has some decent storage, a solid back. And they also have those 2 pockets in the front. I didn't want the pockets, so because I need to recover these. They don't really work well with this color scheme in my living room. So I'm going to go about removing the pockets. So to do that, I have my seam ripper. You get these usually in little sewing kits or from the craft store where they sell sewing goods. And that is called a seam ripper. And it has a pointy edge. And you use that to go right under the thread of whatever you're trying to remove, whatever seam that you're trying to remove. And it's real easy to just locate where the end is and pull and rip the seam out. And so here you'll see it a little more close up, that I just found the edge and use my seam ripper to pull that seam out. So you just pull that thread out and then go all the way down, being careful not to rip your fabric. You saw a couple of times I actually went into the fabric and just pulled it straight out. So once you get usually those first locking seams done, it's going to be real easy to pull the thread out and remove it. So I'm removing those pockets, and I'm just going to discard that additional material. And once I got all the seams removed, I got my fabric. I bought this fabric from Joann's using my 50% off coupon, and it's a red vinyl. Each of the rooms in my house has one little pop of red, which is my favorite color. And so I use that in small doses all around the house. So I figured these would be the perfect little red addition for the formal living room. And I measured out and cut all of my fabric ahead of time. And I cut that long strip to wrap around the sides, because the thing about this project is I couldn't take apart or take the fabric off of the existing ottoman as it is, because if I do that, it's going to take it entirely apart. So I just had to cover what was there. So I have this long strip that is going to wrap around the outside of the ottoman. And so you can do this with a sewing machine, but what I decided to do was to take it to a local seamstress who would put in a really good and tight seam. places like the cleaners, and if you have any other shop that does alterations, they might be able to do this for you. But I took it and she gave me that really tight and finished seam so that it would be, secure. So then I took it home. I was able to cover the tops myself because that doesn't require any sewing. And I went and using my staple gun. You can also use hot glue. Like originally I bought some fabric glue to do this, but the seamstress herself said, hot glue is actually has a better hold. So you can do this using staples like I did or some hot glue. And there I'm just kind of sizing and gluing down. And I actually went back and reinforced those with some staples and making sure that my fabric is taut. Now the thing about it is you have to be careful with the bunching of the fabric, especially in the corners, because this still it's going to be a little bit thicker than it was before, so it still has to fit on top of the ottoman. So when it comes to those corners, cut away as much excess fabric as you can. And before you tack it down, make sure you are pulling it tight and making it work. And I did the same thing with, you can see that that wrapped around piece kind of just fits really nicely. I left one of the ottomans with her. She was able to size it nicely. And here, because it is so small on the bottom, I'm using hot glue. There's nothing for me to staple to on the bottom, so I have to use hot glue to hold that down. And so you see it's just overlapping a little bit onto the bottom. I'm actually considering maybe putting a new bottom on it, like maybe gluing it down to another more firm bottom, but I'll see how this holds up. And you go all around with your hot glue. I used a couple of beads to make sure I got some really good coverage, because I'm not too concerned about it collapsing down anymore. My most concern was that it was sturdy enough to hold people if I needed some additional places to sit. And there, I'm able to fold in a little more extra fabric on the top, making sure it's tight all the way around. And again, coming in with my hot glue to finish that off. And you want to make the corners neat. And really this project was about, oh, I forgot to mention, so it was $16. The seamstress charged me $16 to make 2 of those covers for the ottoman. So all in all, the project was way less expensive than if I'd purchased those ottomans that I wanted to. I mean, for $10, I really couldn't. I needed to at least make the attempt to see how it works. And it's a great place for me to set additional pillows and like a little throw blanket for when I'm lounging, watching TV, or reading. And I can put those things away. I'm very excited to have them. And there you see the finished product. They're all covered and they look pretty good. So I'm very happy with how they turned out. You can almost tell where I did one after the other one because one is a little better than the other, but I still really think they turned out well. So let me know what you think. Give this video a thumbs up and leave your comments below. If you are not already, hit the subscribe button and the little bell that lets you know every time I post a video. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter, and I look forward to hearing your comments. Until next time, thanks for watching, and here's to living simply lavishly. Cheers.